Hey everyone, it's me, Master Walrus 9 here, and today I'm going to be talking about Hunter x Hunter with the ranking system and the association, and the fact that it is stupid. I know I spelled that stupid. I'm just emphasizing the point that it's fucking stupid. So first off, a little bit of warning. There's going to be spoilers for Hunter x Hunter. The show was released in like 2011 for the reboot, and I know the manga's going on still. There shouldn't be too much in terms of the modern manga spoilers, but like, if you haven't watched it yet, get watching. I want to start off by saying I like Hunter x Hunter. I enjoyed it very much so. I'm a fan. You wouldn't have someone who's not a fan talking about concepts like these because they wouldn't know enough about the system. And I'm gonna start off also by saying that I'm anime only for the most part. I read a little bit of the manga, but realizing about Togashi's health and the pattern of uploads and stuff like that, I'm gonna wait until something a lot more definitive or constant's coming up before I start reading again. I don't play too many of the games. I don't whatever you want to say, you know, read all the SBSs and stuff like that. I keep updated with other YouTubers, but what I'm trying to say is I like it. I'm not the pro expert, but I've seen it. I paid attention. I think Nen is cool. I think the series was really great. Even stuff that people didn't really care for, like Hunter Exam, I really liked. Reed Island, I really like. I loved all of it. Love Hunter x Hunter. But the fucking association is stupid. Okay, I'm going to start by looking at what they call the Hunter's Bible. This is the 10 guidelines in which the association has talked about stuff. These are the rules for being a hunter. First, hunters must always be on the hunt for something. Second, hunters must have a minimum understanding of martial arts. This includes learning Nen. Third, once a hunter is licensed, that license cannot be revoked for whatever reason. And a license will not be reissued for whatever reason. 4. Hunters shall not target other hunters unless they have committed heinous crimes. 5. 1 star is given out to hunters who produce remarkable achievements in a particular field. 6. 2 stars are given to hunters who fulfill 5 articles, hold an official position, and has mentored junior hunter who is awarded a star. 7. 3 stars are given to hunters who fulfills the 6 articles and produces remarkable accomplishments in multiple fields. 8. The chief executive of the Hunter Association must earn the confidence of a majority of his colleagues. When the position of chairman is vacated, the vote to elect the next chairman must be conducted at once, and a deputy power is given to the vice chairman in the meantime. 9. The authority to decide on a method to select new members is given to the chairman. However, to significantly change existing methods requires the confidence of a majority of colleagues. And 10. Any matter not mentioned here will be decided in a cabinet consisting of the chairman, vice chairman, and staff advisors. The chairman has the authority to select the vice chairman and the staff. So let's take a look at what this is talking about. Well, rules 8, 9, and 10 are talking about the electing the positional chairman, how to select a new chairman, and that the chairman and the councils and the vice chairman get to determine any rules not issued here. So this is kind of the government position talks right here. 5, 6, and 7 are talking about the ranking system, the stars. 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. So when you take a look at the general rules for what it means to be a hunter, I'm talking about a generic hunter. You got 4. You got to be hunting for something. You got to have a minimum understanding of martial arts. And then you got to be licensed. But that license can't be revoked, so you just have to earn a license. And other hunter, and you can't target other hunters unless they deserve to be targeted. I'm okay, sorry, this pisses me off so much because we're gonna take a look at some stuff. First thing I want to look at, types of hunters. Okay. So question or article 1 is hunters must always be on the hunt for something. What does it mean to be a hunter? Who the fuck knows? It means nothing. Okay, so let's look at some of the positions. Here's a rookie hunter. They have a lack of area of specialization. So these guys aren't hunting for anything at particular. If we take a look at their journey so far, L'Oreal, during the events of the story, was a med student. Okay, maybe you consider he was a med hunter, but no, we'll get to that in a second. Gon and Killua looked to get stronger. So maybe they're strength hunters. I don't know. Well, they were looking for Gon's dad. I mean, they're rookies, so they're not classified in an area of specialization, so they can't really be considered as hunters at that point in time. They weren't considered hunters as well until they learned Nen under wing. There was a point in time okay, I'm getting too focused on a single subject. Let's keep going. Beast hunters. This is another type of hunters. There's hunters of fantastic beasts. They look for stuff like, for us in the human world, the normal world, this would be considered griffins and dragons, stuff that would be non-known. There's regular beast hunters who specialize in generic fauna, and unidentified beast hunters who look for stuff that's really unknown. So I mean, here's some examples: Knuckle, Pockle, and Shoot. I feel like if Gon was to be an actual hunter in a specified field, I feel like Beast Hunter would be big. He really got close with Kite and his team when they were starting the NGL portion of Chimera Ants and stuff like that. There was also the aspect of his close association with animals, grew up a lot of nature. I feel like a Beast Hunter would be good. Blacklist hunters or bounty hunters. They're the ones in charge of tracking down wanted criminals, like the Spiders, Phantom Troop, Denolt, Parapika, Lipos, etc., etc. Botanical hunters. These are hunters with great knowledges about plants and that they search for and collect plants. Like, oh, okay. First one, you got your fauna, now you got your flora, and you have your bounty hunters. This makes sense so far. Card hunters. This is a type of hunter who searches for rare cards around the world. What the fuck does that mean? Rare cards? Searching for like the fucking borderless Charizard? Shadowless Charizard? Wait, what? Who approved of this? Who said, yeah, you could go be a card hunter? What does that mean? Crime hunters. Type of hunters who try to solve mysterious cases in the crime. So are you like actively searching for the cases? Or like, what makes this different than a detective? You're just a detective then. Beauty hunters. They research beauty and try to make people look younger? Like, sure, but I feel like that's kind of like a medicine thing. Disease and virus hunters. So these are those who try to find new elements to cure medicable diseases. Cheetle, Sambica, and I put L'Oreal here. You know, he's going to be a doctor. Like, okay. Some of these make sense so far. Disease hunters, you're trying to cure disease. These help the betterment of people. Crime hunters, sure. Flora, fauna, so nature preservation, helping people or helping preserve. That seems fine so far. Gourmet hunters, they look for food. I mean, that's a very big simplification, but they're like artisans. They're looking for new ingredients, new recipes, mastering the craft. Even if you want to say like, sure, everyone eats and stuff like that, this is like a luxury at this point. Gourmet fucking hunters. Hacker hunters, those who deal with cyber crimes. At the point in time in which Hunter x Hunter was written, you know, the internet was very new and stuff like that. So this makes a bit more interesting, but still, I don't know. Headhunters, a type of hunter who specializes in discover and cultivating new talents. This is a fucking hunter who's dedicated to finding people who could potentially be new hunters or new like fucking staff employee. Like, what the fuck? How is this a hunter? Jackpots. These are hunters who have one goal: making money. So this doesn't even benefit the majority of people. This benefits him and the clients he works for. Lost hunters. Hunters for help seek those who have been lost. Well, if they were lost, this is just a fucking detective with Nen. Music hunters. Okay, maybe you got a little bit of culture, but I'm gonna put in the same thing of gourmet hunters. Like, why? Paleograph hunters. Those who specialize in lost and ancient languages. Poacher hunters. Those who protect them from poachers. But also that was a gourmet hunter, if you read that. Poison hunters. Various poisons in their pharmaceutical. That's a fucking medical hunter with a specialization. Bro, we don't fucking know what a problem hunter is. What the hell? Specifics unknown. I'm searching for problems. Sacho, please help. I ran out of mayonnaise and I'm trying to make a BLT sandwich. Oh, well, I think I have a solution to your problem here. I'm a problem hunter. I found this problem. Fuck off. Ruins hunters. Okay, you know what? Maybe there's a bit of culture and society with this one. Still not as big on this. Jings, Satodes. They're dedicated to uncovering, restoring, and preserving ruins. Sea hunters. Those who operate in the sea. You know what? I'll give sea hunters something. The land is so much different from the ocean. I feel like that should be its own dedicated field. Terrorist hunters. Those who specialize in tracking down and preventing terrorists and terrorist attack. That's a fucking cop again. Detectives and cops. This is the police force. You're a police force with net. Treasure hunters. Those who search the word for rare and valuable items. Like Consign Biscuit. If you remember at the end of Greed Island, she got that deep blue or the ocean stone or whatever the fuck it was called. So I feel like also Killa would go in here, seeing how story of Hunter x Hunter ended after the article exam. He and Nanika were kind of running off, going around the world, trying to keep low. If you want to keep up the hunter aspect, I also felt like he had a good connection with Biscuit. Definitely go back and train and reintroduce and stuff like that. I like Biscuit's pot. Excuse me. Biscuit's definitely someone who I could definitely see Killa would taking a lot of influence from. Wanting to lay low, travel the world. And he's gonna need money, you know. And then we have this whole list of other mentioned hunters who we don't know their types. They could fall into previous categories, or they could be someone completely fucking different and new. Like, for example, Basho. I'm a poetry hunter. I study poetry. Ahsoka. Fuck. Isaac Netero. I'm a martial arts hunter. I study martial arts. The hunter system makes no fucking sense in terms of what is and what is not considered a hunter. Stuff that you could consider to be part of the same field? No. No, they're different fields. There's different class. Like, come on. Look, I know I'm overreacting to some of this stuff, but it's a question of, if there's so many different fields of hunters, what applicates to hunting something? Can I say I'm a fucking relaxation hunter and I'm looking for the best ways to relax? I just sit all day and make margaritas? Can I fucking say I'm the fucking, I don't know, I'm the slur hunter? I'm looking for all the slurs in human history? What is, come on. Seriously, if there's no dedication for the fields of what a hunter can or can't be, then the hunter system makes no sense in that regard. Because how are you going to rank up someone who makes contributions to a field if you don't think the field is valid? And how are you going to say a field is valid or not valid based off of them being able to pick their own field? Okay. And move off of this. I'm going to look at one of the other ranks that they got. To be a second star hunter, you have to complete 3 tasks. You have to train a 1-star hunter. You have to be a 1-star hunter. And you have to, you have to have made considerable dedications to a field to become a 1-star hunter. You have to have a government position, etc. Okay? Let's take a look at some of the government positions. You could be the chairman. That's not happening if you're a 1-star hunter. Be a vice chairman. Maybe. You have to be a very, very special person. I don't think it's gonna happen because you're directly picked by the chairman. You know, you would have to have been like, if you would have to be like Killua becoming the chairman, and then him picking Gon to be vice chairman in that kind of position. You have to pick your best friend. Staff advisor, also not the best because the chairman also kind of picks the staff advisors. He does it in the form of the Zodiacs. So you either have to be the chairman or you have to be buddy of the chairman or make a really good impression to the chairman. Okay, so you're not really getting these positions as a 1-star hunter, with very special exceptions. Exam commissioner, you can be one who targets the scheduling and the formation of the exam. Be part of the review board, the one that assigns jobs to hunters. Be part of the election task force or help set up the election. Or you can be part of the disciplinary committee and help deal with issues committed by hunters. When you think about the jobs that are offered in Hunter x Hunter for the hunter positions, excluding the chairman, vice chairman, and staff, here are the reasonable parts. Partake in formulating the next exam. Help assign jobs to hunters. Help conduct the election, like counting votes. Or help apply discipline. Most of these just feed back into the Hunter Association itself. Help elect a new president. Help find new candidates. Help apply the right jobs to candidates. Like, come on. Like, these are supposed to... I get it, but... I know I'm saying this a lot. But in doing this, it's helping to feed. You are going to get a better rank if you help the association. So your rank doesn't necessarily sign a position of power. It's assigning a position of political power. Take a look, single story. So we take a look. Hunters must always be on the hunt for something. Who fucking knows or cares what that something is? It just has to be something. 2. Hunters have to have a minimum understanding of martial arts, including net. Okay, you know what? Hunters have to be able to defend themselves. Sure. Hunters have to have a minimum understanding. What the fuck is a minimum? What the fuck is a minimum? Hunters have to be obtaining a license. A license cannot be revoked for whatever reason. This is not really like... This is a rule for the association and not for the hunter. It's not saying that a hunter should not lose their license. It's implied. I don't know. It should be fucking said in there, because if they ever had a lawyer come through and audit this, the lawyer's gonna have a fucking stroke. Hunters cannot target other hunters. And 1-stars who produces remarkable achievements in a particular field. And there's what counts as remarkable achievements? None of this is defined. It's described so piss poor. Here's some 1-star hunters. Okay, let's move on. Bushidora Ambitious, a blacklist hunter, bounty hunter. Cutie Beauty, cute hunter. Ikshonpe Katocha, a hacker hunter. How do you make... Okay, the blacklist hunter I can see. You capture some really high bounty individuals. Cutie Beauty, how do you make fucking remarkable achievements What does that mean? Is it a betterment of humanity, or is it something undiscovered, new? What does it mean? Hacker hunter. Menchie, the gourmet hunter. She figure out a new fucking food? Morale, the sea hunter. Well, what does it mean to make remarkable achievements as a sea hunter? And be ignored. Okay, you know what? Medical association. I can see that. I can definitely see that. You've helped discover a new medicine. You found a cure to a very important disease, etc., etc. Says Gura. He's the jackpot hunter. Remember what jackpot hunter means? It means that he searches for people who can get him money. He takes contracts. What does it mean to be a single star hunter, to make remarkable achievements in that field? You made more money than anyone else. And we as the Hunter Association appreciate that. You're going to be a single star hunter. That makes no sense, right? Double stars. You got to fulfill the 5 articles. So you got to know martial arts, and then you can't, like, okay, the 3rd article about the license doesn't matter to you. You got to be a fucking single star hunter, because that's presumably the 5th article you got to fill. You can't attack other hunters. You got to be hunting for something, right? 2 stars are given to hunters who fulfill 5 articles. Well, it's an official position. We talked about those positions. A feedback into the system. And you have mentored a junior hunter who's awarded a star. Okay? So you have to mentor someone, and they have to get a star. You know what? That's not terrible. Well, let's take a look at some of these examples. Biscuit Kruger. She mentored Wing. So we don't know if Wing's the 1-star hunter, but we could presume so. Jing, he mentored Kite. We could presume that Jing was a 1-star hunter. Lynn Hordors is another double-star hunter. Actually, she went to the Dark Continent. Very interesting story of Netero. Doesn't say who she trained, but I presume that it's Menchie. Menchie's actually listed as a 1-star hunter. She's a gourmet hunter like Lynn. So I think it's very much possible. Niazam, Sacho the problem hunter. Yes. And Terda. Sacho the problem hunter. He taught people how to spot problems so fucking good. He got 1 star. You have to be a 1-star to become a 2-star. Okay, crime hunter, sure. The fucking headhunter, maybe you find someone who's so extraordinary that you can be like, okay, maybe Terradin spotted Miyasai Nana. Maybe this guy fucking spotted this guy. It's like, you know what? You have a lot of potential. I'm gonna make you become a hunter. I'm gonna teach you that. Maybe that was it. But what does it mean to be a problem hunter? If we don't know what it fucking means to be a problem hunter, and not only did he get 1 star, but he trained someone to get a star as well. Like, again, these are great examples of Nen mastery at the double star. Not maybe mastery, but Nen understanding, because they can train someone in Nen. But it doesn't say train someone in Nen. It says train a junior hunter. You could have trained him in becoming a problem hunter and nothing to deal with Nen. And do you see the issue there? So you have no essence of strength. You're just a teacher. Triple stars. These are double hunters who have made remarkable accomplishments in multiple fields. For example, Botobai Gigante. He's a terrorist hunter. So maybe he was like a crime hunter and stuff like that. Cheadle Yorkshire. She was a disease hunter. Harrison Hill. He's just a triple star hunter, so we really don't know what he's hunting for. So maybe he can't really be considered a triple star hunter because he's not constantly hunting for something. I put these question marks because I don't know who they train. It's never really mentioned. Yeah. What does it mean? Again, what does this mean? What does all this information fucking mean? It means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. The hunter exam means absolutely nothing for determining the power or the strength of someone. Again, you got to be on the hunt for something. How do you justify something a logical hunt? Again, I'm gonna be a fucking relaxing. I'm gonna be the alcohol hunter. I'm gonna search for the best drinks. I'm gonna search for new drinks and brewing. Okay, that's as fucking legit as the fucking music hunter. By the way, I do really appreciate Melody as a character. Melody is a great character. Glad to see Melody back. Oh, yeah. But it's as good as a gourmet hunter. I'm not a gourmet hunter because that could be a different field, like how I'm a poison hunter who deals with helping medicines. But I'm not a medical hunter. The hunters have to have a minimum understanding of martial arts. What's a minimum? This has got to be enough to protect yourself? And what constitutes as a martial art? Fucking Komogi. Komogi has absolute mastery of Nen. Komogi doesn't really know that it's Nen, but she's got such a powerful Nen ability. If I teach Komogi how to punch, throw a straight punch, and call that a martial arts, the art of the single strike, does that fucking count for rule 2? That's the issue. It's so undefined, undescript. It means nothing. The third rule, once it's licensed, it cannot be revoked. That's a staffing issue. A license cannot be reissued. That's a staffing issue. It doesn't say that to be a hunter, you have to have your license. And that's the issue. Because Gon could sell his license like he did in New York New, preparing for Green Island. And Gon could never have that back. Could he still be considered a hunter? Yes, because it says a hunter doesn't need to have a license. It says that once it's issued, it can't be revoked. Maybe you can access certain features, but he's still a hunter. 4 I respect, okay? 4 is a legitimate rule. Hunters cannot target other hunters unless they have committed heinous crimes. We can definitely infer that's supposed to be targeting with attacks or torment or stuff like that. But what does this do? Okay, if you're targeting other hunters, it's not going to revoke your license, so you're still going to be a hunter. And you can just be targeted by other hunters? Like, yeah, you're a criminal like that, but you're still a hunter. You'll never be revoked. You still have the strength. If you think you're strong enough to target other hunters, then you're fine. You're just going to be illegible for the fucking 2-star program. And 1 star is given to those who produce remarkable results. And again, what is remarkable results? I can get something like the animal hunters, the beast hunters, finding new beasts or saving something from extinction. With the flora hunters, I could see medical hunters figuring out cures to new diseases. What does the gourmet hunter have to consider as remarkable results? Is it creating a new dish? Does the dish have to be extremely tasty? Is it figuring out how to produce a food into something edible? What does it mean? There's no defined aspects. It's so open-ended that it's rough. It's rough. This is because the Hunter Association has this set as a political system and not a power system. And because of this, anyone who's considered a 3-star, 2-star, or potentially just a 1-star hunter, you may be able to interpret as strong, but you cannot infer that they are strong. You can't truly believe that they are strong. Fucking Cutie Beauty. Why wasn't Cutie Beauty on the Chimera Ant mission? Oh, you know why? Because she's a fucking cute hunter. There's no sense of combat going in there. The Sea Hunter. Why would the Sea Hunter have to have combat if he's just doing that? Same thing with Jing and the Ruins Hunter. He's searching for old ruins. There's no sense for that. Cheadle. Cheadle's a medical expert. Sure. But there's no strength in that. So her being a triple star hunter means nothing in any form of power scaling or any form of battle combat. Her true abilities is as a political person. That's it. That's it. Fucking take a look at these. Here's for examples. If you remember, that is Heaven's Arena, the Zoldyck family, and the Phantom Troop. Okay? These are dead non-hunters. Maybe they are hunters in some sense. We know that Kila was a hunter, Illumi is a hunter. I'm not sure about Dad. I'm forgetting his name right now. He may have gotten his hunter license. I'm not sure. Or those at Heaven's Arena, and the top floor masters. They have understanding of Nen and they're powerful. They're not hunters. And definitely some of the Phantom Troop are hunters, like Hisoka. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I'm yelling. I'm getting pissed. Shalnar. They're known hunters, but does that fucking mean that all of them are hunters? No. What that means is that they are strong because of their own training. They have their own understanding of Nen. So what are the benefits? 95% of all public facilities can be used at no cost. Wow, I can go take a piss. You get first class treatment, which is nice. Unrivaled freedom to travel across the world, so you're able to get into most places. Reduce legal responsibility for murder, but you still can be prosecuted. You can sell your hunter's license. Only the original recipient gets the benefits. You could still sell it as a collector's item. The ability to use the license as collateral. Free access to any cyberspace. You get the access to a hunter's only website. You can hire convicts under the conditions of absolute obedience. You have exemption from certain educational and professional degree requirements, and you have the privilege to bypass certain age restricting laws. So you got some interesting aspects right there. The mostly normal person shouldn't need it. I mean, you look at like Lord. Hisoka wanted because the travel is good and you have less legal issues. L'Oreal wanted it so he can afford college. That was it though. I think most places aren't going to fucking check. I mean, I don't know. We never really see the access of using the hunter license for systems like these. We see it once, like the cyberspace and the hunters only website. We talk about some of the stuff like L'Oreal using it to get into college, but like, I don't know, if I'm going to fucking McDonald's and I show my hunter exam, I'm gonna get that first class treatment because they don't know if it's a mine or not. Then I gotta check too much. The benefits though definitely put a target on your back, right? Consider this. Consider like Gon. Gon's very strong, but Gon was a brand new hunter. At the end of the hunter exam, he goes, he gets his training, and he becomes strong. But before he did that, before he had Nen accessibility, you have this someone who's considerably weak to someone who knows Nen with this high price item. Most people were expecting around, I think 100 million loan at a bank, 0 interest as the license as collateral. Anyone's gonna target you. 100 million zenny, I think that was in that show. Anyone's gonna target you to take that, to get that and get that loan and just leave. I'm forgetting the name of the guy, but in York New, right before Greed Island, when they go antiquing, that guy who did the antiquing for them wanted to go get his license so he can just have the money. That was it. And if he had no Nen experience, someone could take him kill him, get his license. Because they don't do official Nen training. You got to do the Nen training yourself. People want it for money. Maybe people want it for adventure. You know, that ability to travel is not bad. People do it because they want to be part of secret societies. They want that secret benefits. Or they want the fucking privilege of being a hunter. There's a Stephen King story called The Long Walk. In the story, there's a competition called, like, the walk, the run, whatever you want to call it. And the entire gimmick is that you just walk. You keep running. And if you go below, like, 4 miles an hour as a speed, you get shot and you got killed. Why do people do this? Is it for some grand prize? No, it's for the pride of it. They want to do it because they can. It's their contribution to do this. So you've got this sense of pride towards something that just puts you at such a high risk. That's not necessary. You could do all of these things. You could become a cop or a detective, fight terrorists without having to become a hunter. You could become a doctor without having to become a hunter. You can learn Nen without having to become a hunter. Leoriel learned Nen on his own from books. Komogi developed her own sense of Nen. Nen can be developed without having to become a hunter or seeking it out. So ultimately, would you join the fucking Hunter Association? There's my answer. It's a big old X. Fuck no. The Hunter Association is a piece of garbage that's meant to benefit the Hunter Association. And unless you want to live each day like you're about to die, then there's no reason to join the Hunter Association. Because in those cases, you're much more likely to die. Think of the Chimera Antarch. Who did they target? They targeted the fucking Nen users. Who's going to be a Nen user? Hunters. Why would I want to become a 1-star hunter? By accident. Why would I become a 2-star hunter? Accident. Either you want to climb the ranks for some reason, or you want to become an accident. So I'm Master Loris 9. I know absolutely nothing. Stay sloppy, and fuck you.